first International Art Doll Registry podcast for 2024. Today, Bambi and I are going to be talking about trademarks and time capsules. So, first of all, what is a trademark? According to Harvard College Overview, a trademark is a symbol, word, or phrase used to identify a particular manufacturer or seller's product and distinguishes them from all other products. And that's pretty much like how Coca-Cola, when you take a look at Coca-Cola's design, that's their trademark. And trademarks
Oh
are
yeah,
kind of,
absolutely. There's whole games and stuff of people where you just see the picture or the visual of what it is that the company is, and you identify that. When I was teaching, my students played that game on their phone, of course, when they weren't supposed to in class, all the time. And you'd be surprised how tricky it is sometimes. And you look at it and you think, "Oh, I know what that is," but it won't come to you.
well, I still have it in my stupid mind when you have the little fingers that walk over the yellow pages, meaning the yellow pages that were in phone books that
Yeah.
don't even exist anymore. That's a
Gosh,
trademark.
we're so old.
So the trademarks here in the US are governed and protected by state level and federal level too. So that's a come that you start messing around with trademarks, you're going to get it on both levels.
So if you have a trademark, I guess you register it yourself then.
In some respects, that's also another reason why they even use the art doll registry, because when you register your dolls, you're identifying them as yours. But if you
Yeah.
have a particular trademark to go with that, that also establishes it.
Think about copyright as a writer. We look for ways to get around copyright because technically, as soon as you write it, it belongs to you. And if somebody, so you don't have to have it copyrighted. Even and if somebody tries to steal your work, even if you haven't registered it or anything like that, it's still your work. Now you have to prove it, right? So one of the ways they do it is to mail themselves a copy and then don't open it. So it has that date stamp on it and that kind of thing. So
Right.
it could be something along those lines, a photograph or just I on the bottom of my dolls, on the bottom of their foot, I put a stamp that's just my initial. And so one of the things I plan to do for this new year is to get a better stamp that has my signature as well as the date. I would like to put the date on there, but I'm
Oh,
thinking
that's
of
a good
maybe
point.
just doing that by hand because otherwise I'd have to have a different stamp every month or
I would take
Mhm.
like permanent marker and just write their signature. Since I have soft body dolls, I would write it on their
Yeah.
body. But that doesn't
Oh,
really
yeah.
apply to the head or the sculpted arms and hands. So that
Yeah.
you could still use a permanent marker, but as you just said, that kind of gets old quick. And
hmm
so sometimes if you can stamp
We
that
could
stuff
even you
on,
could even sew it into their clothes and their costume or
but
anything like that or work it into some accessory anything like
well,
that.
anything that can come off the doll though, then does leave the doll to be opened up for being taken away from being a trademark. You want to put the trademark on the doll.
Yeah,
Yeah, because if it's actually sculpted by you, that's really what you're establishing with your trademark on.
yep, you're right.
I thought that was kind of interesting because a trademark is, again, anything that you want to make as your own unique look. And so I looked it up into, according to the dolls from the Index of American Design, in 1858 was the first known patent for a trademark for a doll's head in the US, which was issued to a Ludwig Greener of Philadelphia for a paper mache mold. So I thought he was kind of interesting that it started in 1858. So where you find trademarks, I thought that was interesting. Now, why did you pick the foot for yours?
I don't know. It just seemed like the most logical place
Okay, so now my
because
next question.
my dolls are barefoot. They
Okay,
don't
that's what I
normally
was
have
going to
shoes
ask
on
you.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
So it just seemed like the most logical place. It's kind of flat. I have to make their foot kind of flat. So I don't do a lot of shaping to the bottom of the foot because my dolls they're standalone dolls. So or they will sit down. You can bend them to sit down or that kind of thing. And so but the bottom of their foot has to be kind of flat. And you don't really see it unless you pick it up and look at it or something like that. So, the head is kind of rounded, the hands are not very big, So
Well, and that's just it because as you said, you don't make it to where you can't still see it. So like even if you put a shoe on it, the shoe could come off, you could still see the trademark. Because
that's,
again, for
yes.
doll collectors, the large part time is that's really where they're going to start looking for is your trademark. And so
Yes.
trademarks on older dolls, especially like commercial mold dolls, uh, because I think Barbie might be on the back of her torso. I can't remember anymore. But I know like for the
Oh,
porcelain dolls, it's actually on the back of their necks or slightly up the back of their heads, just like if you flip up their wig partially, you'll be able to see the trademark of or the name of the artist and or mold company that created that doll.
well, that's a really wonderful trivia question. Maybe we could ask everybody to leave a comment on where you think Barbie's trademark is located on her body.
That would be
And
good because I don't remember anymore. It's been a long time since I played with my Barbie.
we can't really give out a prize because it was just spur of the moment. Well, we can say, "Yay, you're the winner."
Exactly.
So definitely leave a comment if you know where Barbie's trademark symbol is, and no cheating. Don't Google it.
But that's kind of where, like I said, because I know from my experience, because we had a doll artist that I really liked who was with Boots Tyler, and then she got divorced from her husband, and that's the reason why you have to take two looks at her different types of trademarks on hers, because it was the trademark that was before her divorce and the trademark afterwards, because her husband tried to take over her business. And you'll see that there's a Christian symbol with her trademark in the later years versus the first part of the year or first time around. So those are the things that also make it collectible. Is also those different types of trademarks that are on the dolls too.
Yeah. Do you know any of our other members? Do you know if they have any different trademark that they use on their dolls?
I don't, and that would be an interesting thing. But I do notice some trademarks that are going on their images when they post their image, but that trademark doesn't always touch the doll; it only touches the image. So we would be curious for have our doll makers let us know whether or not they are putting their trademarks on their dolls themselves.
I know many of them have a logo, so it would make perfect sense for them to have a stamp of their logo that they might use. But I'd be interested to know what they use and where they put it, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, especially with polymer dolls, those are solid clay versus mine with porcelain being kind of hollow, that it makes it a little harder for them to size of the doll. How big is that
Yes.
logo, the trademark going to be? But that takes me into my next part of what I was bringing up, and that's time capsules. Now, you had a different thought on what I meant by time capsule. What did you say a little bit about what that was?
I did. My brain was already thinking about a doll from 1969. How would I decorate a doll from 1969? So my brain was thinking, oh, I could add, the moon things and Woodstock things and hippie things and, colorful, stuff and yeah, peace
You were
signs.
thinking of a specific time, where with me,
Yes.
my experience was when I was teaching doll classes, is the fact that since porcelain doll are hollow, whether or not it's a head or if it's a full porcelain doll body, we would have our students put inside their dolls what the doll was, who they were that made it, when it was made. And sometimes they would say, don't feel too bad that you just broke your doll because the only way you would see this note is if the doll was broken.
I
And
was going
so
to ask, don't you have to destroy the doll to get to what's inside?
exactly.
My
So then
heart's
that way you
breaking
would
at
know.
just the thought.
Yeah, so if it was broken, you would say, okay, this is the doll. So you could maybe research it, find somebody that might have a mold that could replace it if that doll meant anything to you. So that was kind of
Or
the
they
thought
could or they could
behind
just go, wow, that was a really nice doll. Too bad it's broken.
it. Or if the fact that, by the time it gets broken, it's maybe to your great great grandchild. And so she's going to say,
Yeah.
oh, crap, here's when this was made.
Oh, look, this was handmade, one of a kind in the 1800s. Oh, darn.
So that was always just an interesting thought I thought about time capsules. There's the notes that maybe are hidden inside your doll that you do not know about.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about what you were thinking about when you were talking about time trademarks. There when people are asking you as far as your experience with trademarks.
So when I first first approached me about this topic today, my brain went to using other people's trademarks in our work. So, I get requests all the time for people who want me to make them a Pokemon replica, or a journal with University of Alabama. That's very popular. People want that all the time. People come in and want that because they would love to have a journal or a photo album with that on there. I was also thinking how cool it would be to make character dolls that are very unique in their costume, like Jack Sparrow, or other people from the Lord of the Rings, like the dwarves and some of the hobbits and that kind of thing. So, but you you just can't do that.
Well, you can
So
as long as you say it's made by you. If it's handmade by you, that you're not taking somebody else's mold or doll and tweaking it to make it look like yours, then you can say.
yeah,
But the biggest thing is you want to make sure that you're taking the responsibility, saying it was made by
I
you.
think, yes, I think you can do all of those things, but you can't then advertise it as, here is a Frodo doll. I mean, I don't even think you can say it's a Frodo doll, much less a Disney or Lord of the Rings, whatever company it is that actually owns the right to that character.
Mhm.
So I think you can do things like that and go Frodo inspired,
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings inspired, those kind of things. I recently went to Scotland, and while I was there, we visited Dublin, and of course, I'm a Harry Potter fan, so I don't really like to take tours and stuff, but I went on the Harry Potter tour because I didn't want to miss anything, and I didn't really know what I was looking for, and trying to map it all out. Ooh, that's a lot of work. So I went on a tour, and the guy was telling us that there was a store there on the shopping street that's Diagon Alley is supposed to be inspired from. And there was a store there, and I think they called themselves the boy wizard or the boy who lived or something like that. And within like a week, J.K. Rowling's people were coming right down on him. And so he had to change the name. And it's very similar. The wizard who lived, he changed it to like the wizard who lived or something like that. I
oh
don't
yeah,
know. Oh
they
yeah,
were
yeah.
not they were
So
not going to lose rights to Harry Potter at all.
they're not going to lose 1 cent.
Said I think it would be cool if people would leave comments below as far as where Barbie's trademark is, or if they do leave trademarks on their own dolls.
Oh, yes, I would definitely be interested to know about other people and how they use trademarks. So all of you guys who are in our group for sure. I see all your beautiful dolls that you post on your social media. And so I know that I would love to know what you guys do, and also some of our people from outside. If you are not a member yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please also comment and let us know what you do as far as trademarking your property.
And keep in mind that's what the doll registry helps them do, is helping them prove the authenticity to their doll, which then helps to keep their trademark as well.
One of the first things that caught my eye, one of the first reasons that I joined, was to get that certificate of authenticity. Because when you're charging 3, 4, 5 digits for a single doll, it really helps to have that certificate to offer to people.
Please make sure you follow us on our Facebook page and visit our website, which will be the link will be in the comments below.
Yeah, everybody will be looking for trademarks now.
Have a good one.
Bye.